think the game changed, with 10 men, but they also tactically did very well against 10 men. Sometimes it is harder to play against 10 men. I don't think AC Milan were able to deal with Chelsea at all, particularly in the second half. And I think the word is maturity. Chelsea just look a cut above AC Milan, even at the San Siro. So great performance and great to see Chelsea at the top of the group.
When we saw there the amount of possession that Chelsea had away from home, you'd expect that when AC Milan go down to 10 men. And Stefano Pioli, furious with the officials at the full-time whistle, he should save some of his frustration for his defender as well. You made the point at half-time. If you do that, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, you give the referee an opportunity to make a decision, and invariably they don't go your way. And I understand the frustrations from Milan's point of view, but the rules are the real rules. It's a red card because there's no intention to play the ball, and as simple as that. Some may not agree with it, but that is the rules and where we are today. But I think Chelsea, what was presented to them after that red card, they absolutely took it with both hands, and they went and dealt with Milan the way they should be. 10 men, you're behind us. 2 goals down, finished the game off, and it was comfortable in the end. They didn't exert too much energy. In them games, you've got to play it like that as well. It's about preserving energy for the late stages, for the next phase of the Premier League games coming up as well.
Yep. Impressive control this evening from Chelsea. We'll look back on the penalty incident. We'll take a look at Chelsea's performance, where AC Milan struggled as well this evening. And don't forget, all of the goals from the night are going to come your way. In Champions League tonight, it gets going from 10:30. You can see all the action from the night before 11 o'clock. And then myself, Rio and Joe will be live until 11:30 tonight as we reflect on all of the night's big stories in the Champions League, including a conversation about Kylian Mbappe, who wants to leave PSG, apparently, and scored this evening. We'll talk about him in great detail, but our focus straight after the break is on yet another victory for Chelsea as they edge towards qualification to the knockout stages.
James, they get it in. Mount has got the wrong side there, and the referee gives a red card and a penalty kick. Not a problem for Jorginho. Kovacic, they've worked this beautifully, and Aubameyang, brilliant finish. That's what he does.
2 goals, 3 points, 1 very good win this evening for Chelsea. And Graham Potter and his players now know if they go to Salzburg and win on their next match, then they will qualify with a game to spare. Other breaking news this evening: congratulations, Real Madrid and Manchester City, the first 2 sides to have made it through the group stages into the knockout rounds in this season's Champions League. But we're going to break down exactly what happened in the penalty incident. Everyone's talking about the sort of arms on the shoulder from Tomori. Yeah. We'll get to that. But how it all unfolded is actually fascinating from a tactical perspective.
Unacceptable. It's not often something happens in a football game that angers you, especially when it benefits the team, your team. But AC Milan setup, it was so irresponsible. The way that they started playing, this is the San Siro first 10 minutes, right? This is fine now, where you sort of set up and you've got your back three and you've got your holding midfielder coming in. They're going to play expansive football. They're going to take the team. And Theo Fernandez, who's playing left back, was playing in the midfield there. You see him in the middle of your picture, number 19. But I just want to quickly highlight why they got into the trouble they did. And this is the occasion here. That is your centre-half there, Tomori, looking to make a run in depth. Now, you have to bear in mind, against a normal team, that might be acceptable. But to leave this space against Reece James, who was fantastic and which caused you so much pain in the game, I can't get my head around why Pioli would do that. Again, Tomori runs, there comes out, not again. Now Tomori's got to run all the way back to make up the back three again for the build-up. Theo Fernandez, your left back, who's responsible for Reece James, into the midfield. Again, it goes to Tomori. Now watch this again. So he's made one run, Tomori. We'll just play it on the touch here. Now watch this, Ree. This is unbelievable. He has run into this. This is your centre-half. I just want to quickly put that into some perspective. First 10 minutes of a Champions League game, your 2 centre-halves are 42 yards away from each other. There's no what-if thinking here.
So can I just ask quickly, this is a plan, right? You've all played the game enough to know this is a plan. So what do you think the plan is, even if it's confusing you now?
Pioli has made I think he's made a judgment call where he thinks we're a better side than Chelsea, we can flood the midfield and we won't lose the ball. But that's not how football's played. The ball gets turned over, right? Nothing comes of it here.
Look at that, Joe, as well. If you look at it, just get it back there a little bit. This is in the first 5 minutes, by the way. They're playing now. They're your 3 versus 1, 2, 3. First 5 minutes, taking big risks in the game. It's 90 minutes. He's gone all out straight away in the game. It's risky football, that. and they do end up getting punished.
Yeah.
It's all tactical, you know. That's come from Pioli. Even the arms up there from Tomori, he's angry because he's not got the ball. So there's a tactical plan that needs to be executed.
Right.
The players haven't executed it, and it's then led to those spaces. But it's bad tactics from the manager that the players, he's put the players in that situation, which has then led obviously to the first penalty.
Again, and I just want to, so, and you're bang on, right? That here's Fernandez, who's the left back, who should be thinking after watching Reece James, I need to be back in. Right, this is a turnover. Chelsea have just turned him over. That's your left back, highest player up the pitch. Now watch his recovery run now. Like, there should be some urgency of him going, I need to get back in there
What recovery
to protect Tomori. He arcs his recovery run into the midfield as if he's expecting another turnover and no consideration to this part of the pitch here. Like, no consideration. That's where we got hurt. Right, he plays it on. Chelsea put a decent passage of play. Chelsea put together. Now Tomori, ball eventually goes to Reece James. Right, nothing. Look now for Tomori on this position, who's made 44 runs already in the first 10 minutes. That position there is an aggressive position for on a back three, but in a back two, it is so irresponsible. No pressure on the
What he
ball.
should be doing, Tomori should be doing there, is saying to him, first and foremost, the man on the ball, Reece James, is never going to play it in there because I'm already anticipating the ball going back that way, and my body position will show you that. Bearing in mind, Theo Fernandez is probably about, he's yards off him. Do you know what I mean? He's got time on the ball, 11 yards off of the player on the ball. So as a centre back, that's the area immediately you're protecting. Yeah, that's the area you've got to protect. Ideally, what you want is that ball to be, if it goes into Mason Mount, you just make him go back that way, or you make him play it back here. You don't allow him to get in behind. Plus, by the way, Tomori is quicker than Mason Mount. Sorry, Joe. He goes on here. He looks at him. He knows he's running now, and you think in a foot race, he should beat him there. But because Mason Mount has gone early, he's now got the momentum, and then the ball, without any pressure on it, goes into that area, and then it's panic stations from Tomori. Tomori should never, ever allow him to be getting in there in that position. He shouldn't.
It's great movement.
Lapse of
from Mount, though, 'cause
concentration.
Mount recognises that space, so he's almost made 2 runs to sort of gone short, and then he's recognised the space in behind, but he's capitalised on the
This is a
mistake.
foul. Anywhere else on the pitch, dragging, clambering over the back of him over his shoulders is a foul.
I mean, unacceptable. Just watch the penalty. He does what he does best. He dispatches it. But it's not often in football that something looks at you and baffles you.
Yeah.
It baffled me, the tactics. It really did. I'd love to sit down with a manager. This is where it'd be great to get hold of him and say, what was you thinking doing that? And show him the footage. Because he was furious with the referee after the game. But really and truly, he lost the game yesterday and the day before when deciding to allow that much space for Chelsea. I would imagine Chelsea's management team would be sitting there thinking, how has he just let us have so much space down that channel after watching the game before? But listen, I'm buzzing. Chelsea.
And just briefly, before you go on to 2-0, I do just need to say, because it's all the talk all over social media about the penalty decision, people saying, how did VAR not overturn it? Why was it given? It's soft. I think as a panel, we all agreed at half-time, yes, it was soft, but yes, it was a foul, and he didn't play the ball. Therefore, it's a red. Therefore, it's a penalty. There's no disagreement here.
No, absolutely.
The rule book states that, so you have to go with it. Here's a second goal, Aubameyang, who I thought was class all night. Just one thing, as you see, these strikers here, you would never have said before the game, these 3 attacking players will be in that situation there. Clustered, Aubameyang not being the furthest one forward, but watch when the ball goes beyond Aubameyang. Look at the anticipation there. Gets above, past Raheem Sterling, onto it, sees it, tastes it, finishes it off. Beautiful.
Lovely. Thank you very much for that. A concise breakdown of where it went right and wrong this evening. Right, stay exactly where you are. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, plenty more conversation, including us hearing from Graham Potter, who's seen his team pick up yet another win. There were moments tonight where we looked absolutely delighted with the way that Chelsea are equipping themselves on the pitch. They are so much a reflection of him already, and we'll hear from him next. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us. In a couple of moments' time, we're going to hear from Graham Potter about Chelsea's win this evening. People questioned the red card and the penalty decision, but it was correct. According to the laws of the game, it gave Chelsea a great start. It gave AC Milan the worst possible start. Chelsea made it 2. to pick up the win. If they win their next game, they will qualify for the knockout stages. Manchester City, despite a frustrating night, are already through to the knockout stages. Riyad Mahrez missed a penalty. Gomez was also sent off for City as well. It's the first time this season they've failed to score, but the crucial thing for them is that they make it through anyway. Meanwhile, Celtic, what I'm afraid to say, they're out. It's been a really difficult start to their Champions League campaign. 2-0 defeat this evening to Leipzig. They can still qualify for the Europa League, but it wasn't a great night for them. Yet again, a chasing evening in Europe's top competition for them and their manager. A 2-0 defeat for them. Let me just remind you that from 10:30 we'll bring you all the goals, all the action from this evening, and this is what's happened around Europe tonight. And congratulations not just to Manchester City but also to Real Madrid, the first two teams to make it out of the group stages. Let's get some instant reaction now. Here's Jules Breach with Graham Potter.
Graham, that game had a bit of everything, but that must feel like a huge win.
Yeah, to come here and win is certainly not easy, that's for sure. So credit to the players, they were really good, I thought. Obviously, we get a bit of luck going the opponent down to 10 men. But I thought overall the performance was good. Nice to keep a clean sheet again, and to come away with 3 points is fantastic for us.
Well, let's go back to that game-changing moment with Tomori's red card. What did you make of the sending off?
Yeah, it's hard from where I'm sitting. I've not watched it back, but it looks like he's got a hand on him, and Mason's through on goal from where I am. But I need to have a look at it again clearly. But nice for the penalty, nice for Georgie to score, and it was a good move, I think, to get in there in the first place. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes they go for you.
Jorginho, as you say, converted really coolly from the spot in what was an intimidating atmosphere. How important was it for you and the players out there to keep control of the game after they went down to 10 men?
Yeah, that's the trick. You want to try and control the game, but not be too passive, and not because you see the atmosphere here. Only one action can result in a goal, and then all of a sudden the stadium erupts, and they feel like they've got the extra man again. So it's a balance between having good structure, keeping the ball, and at the same time trying to threaten the goal and trying to score again.
Mason Mount has got a lot of praise tonight. He's your only outfield player to start every game for you so far. How important is he to everything that you want to do with this team?
Yeah, really important. Obviously, he was on a yellow card and he plays a lot of football, like you said, so we just felt at half-time it'd be sensible to give him a breather, but I thought he was fantastic, got in some good spaces, tapped the goal well, won the penalty for us, and was a constant threat, I thought. So really pleased for him. I've been really pleased for him, with him, from the start, so he's a really important player.
Not only that, he's the only outfield player to play every single game so far under Graham Potter. And as you can see, it's played 5, won 4, drawn 1, 3 clean sheets, no defeats. And it's actually brilliant to watch Mason Mount being so central to this new era at Chelsea, isn't it?
It is, and for me, Mason Mount should be to Chelsea what De Bruyne is to Man City. He should be the first name on the team sheet. You know, he's come through the ranks. You know, the fans love him. Every manager seems to love him. You know, he's willing to play in every position. He can play in lots of different positions, particularly in this kind of fluid system. So, and he showed that tonight, you know, with the run, you know, the clever run for the penalty, and then he sets up a great, you know, a great assist for Aubameyang. So that's what Mason Mount's all about, both for Chelsea and for England. Great performance, and the luxury of being able to take him off and then put someone like Gallagher on is where Chelsea are at the moment. For England at the World Cup, does he start for all three of you?
He does for me tonight, but that changes constantly, doesn't it? You know, we see injuries, players in form, players out of form. I just think he's one of them players as a manager. None of them players really where you put him into the team and you're not worried about him. You consider other parts because he just does the job. He just gets whatever you want him to do with a deeper line midfield, in off the right, giving you width. He does everything correct, and that's because he's well scored.
In your team, you did your teams last week when we were at Chelsea. You did your starting 11. Was he in yours?
I think was he in yours?
No, he wasn't.
I don't think he was. No, but that must have been. It was a late night.
And he wasn't in yours either.
I just think that front. So he's not going to play as one of the two midfielders,
right?
In the way that Gareth Southgate plays. So you've got Declan Rice and Bellingham who look like they're shoo-ins for them two positions. So take him out of that equation. So he's in one of the front three positions, and I don't think anyone other than Kane and probably Sterling are guaranteed starters in that front front three positions. I think Kane is obviously the captain, he starts. Sterling for what he's done previously and the player that he is and the threat he offers you behind, he stretches teams in the England team is vital. Then it's the other position on the right where Saka is producing great form, scored 2 at the weekend in a massive game against Liverpool. Foden's producing, scored a hat-trick last week against Man United. And now you've got Mason Mount hitting form. So I think it's going to be a toss-up for that one position on the right-hand side because I think the other two are sewn up.
The joy of having such great players at your disposal for Gareth Southgate. It is a good problem to have. Let's hear actually from Mason Mount. He's just emerged to speak to Jules. Jules.
It was a really positive night for you, though. Another assist. That's now 3 in your last 2 matches. Do you feel like you're back to your best?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm enjoying it and we're playing well and scoring goals, so that's the most important thing. Hopefully next I get a goal because it's been coming. I haven't finished it off yet, but no, I'll take the assists, setting them up for my teammates. Very, very happy for me tonight.
How have you found things under Graham Potter? What's been the biggest change since he's arrived?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I mean, you can see the way we play. We've been obviously attacking a big threat going forward and been solid at the back and built from the back and been able to create chances for each other. So we're obviously going in the right direction and hopefully that continues.
Has he changed anything in particular with you in training?
No, not too much. It was just trying to get in the box and also connect the midfield to the strikers and be able to move and be free and get assists and get goals. So it's been happening for me over the last couple of games and I want more. I want to continue doing that and hopefully that will happen in the next few games coming up.
Brilliant. Did you want to pick up on something there?
Yeah, I just think it's important to understand that now he seems to be, from what he said there, is getting a licence to be able to move and rotate in positions in between the lines. And we saw even with the 2 opportunities and chances that he produced in the game for the assists, he's in the half positions. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden he's just playing away from the centre halves and fullbacks, but behind the midfielders. And that position there creates huge problems for the opposition, and he's doing it magnificently.
The only thing I would say on Mount, and he seemed a bit disappointed there, he doesn't score. He didn't score in the game.
I like that, though, do you?
I like that, but that's the next level.
Yeah.
Can he get assists and goals and take his performance to another level?
He needs a goal, doesn't he? I do want to talk about Reece James. Graham Potter says it doesn't look too bad. I don't know whether any of you 3 have been in a position where you think something's OK and actually the following morning it feels a bit different.
Yeah, I have, unfortunately, Jake, and he lands awkwardly on it, you know, and it's one of them, you won't know until 24, 48 hours what the damage is done, because sometimes you're going to it'll get on the plane tonight, it'll get off the plane, there'll be a bit of swelling, it'll be sore tomorrow.
Makes you wince.
And, you know, the fact that we all collectively held our breath shows how important he is for England. You know, me and Ennie, from Chelsea's perspective, it's important as well, but for England, he's vital. So we winced when we saw it. I really hope, for his sake and for the country's sake, he's fine.
Absolutely. Right, let me just remind you that there's plenty more football coming your way from the Champions League tomorrow evening. Once again, every game live here on BT Sport. There's a couple of early games involving Napoli, who've been brilliant in this competition so far, and Club Brugge, who've also been fantastic. Rangers against Liverpool is the game that myself and Rio will be covering. I've got you booked on a nice early flight up to Glasgow in the morning. You'll be pleased to know.
Oh, wait.
It's going to be...
Brush your teeth.
Oh, I always brush my teeth. But that's not it from us, because straight after the break, it's Champions League tonight. Ennie, thank you so much for your company this evening. I'll brush my teeth in the break, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes.